musical explorers, welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to continue to do the level 2 theory book, and let's hop straight into the lesson. Alright, musical explorers, today we will be doing lesson 5 on primary triads, and let's read this whole page. So a triad can be built on each note of the scale. And basically, these are all just triads, right? But they are all built on from the D major scale. And here I already highlighted that all of the root notes of the triad form, like basically it is the D major scale itself. If you just don't look at the 3rd and the 5th notes, it is basically just the D major scale. Okay, let's keep reading. When building triads on scale tones, all of the sharps or flats that are in the key signature are added to the chords that have those notes. Example, D major scale has F sharp and C sharp. When drawing the triads of D major, every time an F or C appears in a chord, a sharp is added to it. So I think the book already explained it really well. So all of the triads that are written out, you have to add the key signature, which is F sharp and C sharp in this case. And you can see in the example that they sharped all of the Fs and the Cs. Okay, the first, fourth, the tonic, we can say it like that, the tonic, the subdominant, and dominant. So basically, these are called Roman numerals, right? And basically, they just represent 1, 4, and 5. But they're Roman numeral, and you'll have to learn to be able to read Roman numerals kind of like in theory. But anyways, we're going to learn about the names later, but they are the primary triads. So in major keys, these 3 triads are major. They are the most common chords that are used for harmonizing tonal melodies. The chords are labeled with uppercase Roman numerals, right? So basically, well, I guess they already explained it pretty well, but they are called, okay, so these are primary triads, and in major keys, these 3 triads are major. So these 3 triads are major. We don't really need to know about the fact that they're used for harmonizing tonal melodies. That's not really important. But these chords are labeled with uppercase Roman numerals. And these are Roman numerals, if you don't already know. Okay. So basically, these Roman numerals represent 1, 4, and 5. So that just means that in the triads, they are the 1st, 4th, and 5th triads. But as you can notice, there is 2 first or tonic triads because they are basically the same. As you can see, they're just an octave higher, right? That's because, for example, if this was the D major scale, the first D and the last D are the same note. They're just an octave higher, so they are both tonic. They're both 1s, okay? Okay, primary triads in the key of D major. So that's this. Okay, let's see this one. The tonic, or the first chord is called tonic. The 4th chord is called, well, I don't think you should really call it 1st, 4th, or 5th, but the blank chord is called subdominant. So this is subdominant. The 5th, this represents 5. The 5th chord is called dominant. So this is pretty important to know that that 1 represents tonic, 4 represents subdominant, and the 5 represents dominant. Okay, you guys can take a read at this little box here if you want to, But when Roman numerals are handwritten, lines are typically drawn above and below the Roman numerals for major chords. When Roman numerals are computer generated, the distinction between capital and lowercase letters is obvious, so the lines are not necessary. Okay, that is, I don't think you really need to know it, but as you can see, there are like lines on top of it, and when you do write these Roman numerals, like please write that so we can like distinguish them from major and minor. So like you'll learn about that later, but please draw the lines on top of the Roman numerals, just like how they did it over here. So basically just like 1, 4, 5. Okay, just like that, the lines. Okay, now that is out of the way, let's do some exercises here. Okay, for each of these examples, circle the primary triads, tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Label each chord with an uppercase Roman numeral. Draw lines above and below the Roman numerals. The first one is given. So here they actually already drew out all of the triads, and they also have the key signatures on them, so that's great. But for this one, all we have to do is circle the tonic, subdominant, and dominant, so the primary triads. Okay, so just like they did, what it means is you just circle the first, fourth, and fifth triad, and the last one, because the last one's also tonic, okay? So here we have F major. So let's see. The tonic would be 1, right? So that's 1. This one is also tonic because they're just an octave higher, but they're the same notes. So that also means it is tonic. Okay. Now, let's find the fourth and fifth chord. It's pretty easy, just counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still that one. So that is our subdominant triad. And then we have dominant. So that's 4, and then a 5. So that is our dominant one. So we just circle them. And now we have to label them with these Roman numerals. So let's do that. So we have tonic, subdominant, dominant, and tonic again, just like that. Awesome. Now let's do the same thing with the other two. So we have, oh yeah, this one's G major. So again, tonic, first, 2, 3, 4, subdominant, 5, dominant, 6, 7, 8. So remember, 8 and 1 are the same thing. So they're both tonic. So the last one's also circled because, well, I guess you shouldn't really say it's the first triad because it's not really the first triad. It's just like, how do we put this? Like, I mean, I guess it is the first triad. It is the first triad, but this one's just an octave higher. But they're still the same notes, right? So if they're still the same notes, aren't they technically the same thing, but just an octave higher? So that means they are still tonic, okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I hope it does. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. But yeah, so tonic, subdominant, and then we have fifth, which is dominant, and then we have tonic again. Just like that. Now, same thing with our C major one. So again, first one, tonic, fourth one, subdominant, fifth one, dominant, and eighth one, which is also the tonic because they're just an octave higher but the same notes. Okay, now let's label the Roman numerals. Oh, this one's a little squished. I'm gonna write it down here. Right here, okay? And then this one's dominant, so we write it Roman numeral 4. dominant. Sorry, this is subdominant and this is dominant, which is a 5, and tonic again. Just like that. Awesome. Okay, now let's do exercise number 2. Number the first, fourth, and fifth notes of these scales using Roman numerals and complete the primary triad on those notes: tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Watch the clef signs. The first one is given. Awesome. Okay, so let's see. So we have F major right now, right? So we just build on, so this one's an example in case we're confused, but we basically just build the triads for the first, fourth, and fifth, and first again, of the given scale, and we also have to label them, and yeah, I believe, let's see, we might need to add key signature. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we'll see. Okay, so let's do F major first, and obviously this one's in treble clef. So yeah, but first what we do is we just build on to the triad. We just add like the little snowman, remember from our last lesson? We build a little triad just like that. Space, 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 remember? And then now we do it on the fourth, which is here. And that's gonna be line, line, line. Okay, it's pretty easy. We're just like building a snowman. Okay, now on the tonic again. Oh, I'm kind of squished here. It's kind of hard to write. Just like that. Awesome. So as you can see, I don't think for this one we need to add any B flats because so far I don't see any B flats here, right? So I think that's going to be our triads. But now we have to label the Roman numerals as well. So we're going to label what? Tonic, subdominant, dominant, and tonic once again. Just like that. Awesome. Let's do the next page. Now we have D major. So again, let's build the triads. So we just build triads like that. Now we do it on the subdominant. And then we do it on the dominant. And then we do it on the tonic again. Just like that. Okay. So I think in this one, we actually do need to add some key signatures because, you know, okay, so let's see. What is the key signature, or what are the sharps in D major? So we have a step down, C sharp, right? So we got to go up to C sharp. So it's F sharp and C sharp. Okay, so let's sharp all of the Fs and the Cs that we see, okay? So let's begin with the Fs. So I see an F here, right? So we sharp that F. Any more Fs? Yeah, there's an F here on the third note, on the third of the triad. And then, let's see. Okay, so I don't think there's any more Fs. Now, remember, there's also C, right? C sharp. So, let's see. Any C sharps? No. Any C sharps? No. Any C sharps? Yes. Here we have a C sharp. Any C sharps? No. Okay, good. That is our triad part. Now let's label them with Roman numerals. So we have tonic, subdominant, dominant, and tonic once again. Awesome. Now let's do G major. So again, let's build our triads. We're getting the hang of it. It's pretty easy, right? Okay, let's just build the triads like that. There. Okay, now what is in the key signature of G major? So, okay, in the key of G major, we have, so F sharp, we just have an F, right? So, let's see, do we have any Fs? Yes, I see an F over here. So let's put a sharp there. Okay, I don't think there's any more F's in here, so I think we're good. Okay, now let's put the Roman numerals on. So this is tonic. What is this one? Subdominant, right. What is the next one? Dominant, right. And what is that? Tonic again. Good. Okay, great. Now let's move on to part 3. Draw the primary triads for these keys, tonic, subdominant, and dominant, and label the chords with Roman numerals. Do not use key signatures. Draw sharps or flats before the notes. Watch the clef sign. The first one is given. Okay, so now instead of drawing them all out, like first we draw the big scale and then we add on to the chords, and then we add on to the triads, we're only, like, instead of drawing all of these extra notes in between, we're going to remove them. And we're only, in this case, just 3, because since these are the same, like, triads, but just an octave higher, we're going to keep the first one. So we're going to also remove that. So we're going to get rid of all of these extra notes, and we're just going to leave this one and these 2, okay? Awesome. So let's do G major first. So let's just simply build a G major triad. So G, B, D, right? Awesome. Now what is in the key signature of G major? So in the key signature of G major, we have F sharp, right? Okay, so actually we don't have any Fs here, so we're good, but it's always good to check first. And then what we want to do is, actually, we don't check for key signature first. Let's not do that. Let's first draw out all of our triads, and then we're going to worry about key signature. So first we do that, and then what we do is, basically, you know how it's 1 to 4, right? We just count 4 notes above to get our subdominant root note. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. See, that's right there, and that's the subdominant. That's the 4, right? Now let's do the same thing. So from this note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be on an C, a C. Okay, and the next root note, the dominant root note, is just going to be 1 above that. So it's just going to be 1 and 2 on the D, right? So there. Okay, now let's build the triads on top of these notes. So this is E and G. This one's F and A. Awesome. Now, what did we say was the key signature of G major? I guess we could write it down. So we have just F sharp, right? So let's spot with our little eyes what, do we see any Fs in the triads? I mean, I see one, and it's right here, right? So that needs to be a sharp, because it has to be, because it's in the keys, in this key signature, so it has to be sharped. Okay, now let's label them with dominant, tonic, tonic, remember, tonic, and then we have subdominant, and then dominant. Okay, let's do the other ones now. F major, again, let's write out the notes. So that's our 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on the B, and then 1 above that is on a C, just like that, and we're going to build the triads just like that. Now, let's think. What's in the key signature of F major? This is the one we have to memorize. So, there's only B flat. do we see any B's in our triads? I see one. It's right here, right? So let's flat that B, and we have our triads all done. Now let's label them with Roman numerals. So tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Awesome. Now let's do C major. Again, okay, let's see. I want to use this C because it's like we have more space. So we have C, and then we go 4 above it because this is 1 and 4, right? So we go 4 steps above this note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be on an F. And then this next one is, so this is 1, 4, and 5. So the distance from 1 to 4 is 4, right? So we go 4 steps above. But the distance from 4 and 5 is 1, right? So we just go 1 above. So 1, or actually, okay. So we go 4 above. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Okay, so this is, okay, so we also have to include the 2 notes, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So technically then we have to count like 4 to 5, so it's like kind of got to count 2 times, but so we go from F to G, so it's 1, 2. So we have G here. I don't know if that made sense to you guys, but basically, let's see, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. Okay, now let's see. Now let's build the triads. So just like that. I don't know if that explanation was clear enough, but if it was confusing, let me know because I'm not sure how to like explain it. But another way is, I guess you could just remember, as you can see the 2 like triads from tonic to subdominant, you can see this note is right between these 2 notes, right? And this one's 1 above. So this one goes in between the top 2 notes, and this one goes one small step above this note. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, so C major, so no sharp, no flats, so we're good. And now let's label tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Okay. Now let's do G. So G, we go 4 steps above, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's on an C, and then we go 1, 2, 1 above, so it's right here on a D. Now let's form the triads. Okay, now let's see, what is in the key signature of G major? We know that there's only F sharp. Okay, also we're in bass clef, by the way. We have to always know that. Okay, so do we see any Fs? Yes, there's an F here, so we have to sharp it. Good. Let's do C major in bass clef. So now we have C. We go 4 steps above, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. So right here. Now let's build our triads. So E, G, A, C, B, D. Awesome. So no sharp, no flats in C major, so we're good. And let's label the Roman numerals. Oh, I just realized we forgot to do that for G major, so let's do that as well. We got tonic, subdominant, dominant, again, tonic, subdominant, and, oh, that's not good. Okay, let's redo that. So this one's, again, it's dominant. Okay. Next, let's do D major. So let's start on a D. Let's do this one. And then we go 4 steps above. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. And we go 1 above. So it's an A. Now let's build the triads. just like that. Okay. Awesome. What is in the key signature of D major? So we see D, we go half a step down, C sharp. So it's F and C sharp. So we have F sharp, C sharp. Okay, let's find all of the Fs. I see an F here, so we're gonna sharp that. I don't think there's any more Fs, so we're good on that one. Next, we're gonna do C sharp. Okay, I see a C over here, right? So let's sharp that C. Awesome. Now let's do just Roman numerals. So tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Now last one, we're gonna do F major. So starting on an F, and let's go 4 steps up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on a B. And then, okay, that looks kind of weird. On a B, gonna go 1 step up to a C. Now let's build our triads. Okay, now what is in the key signature of F major? This is the one we have to memorize. So it's just B flat, right? Any B's? Yes, there's one there. So we're gonna flat it. Okay, now let's label tonic, subdominant, and dominant. I know I'm saying all of the tonic, subdominant, dominant a lot, but it's like when I say it a lot, I feel like it's like better for you guys to memorize. So yeah, okay. Now let's match these Roman numerals with their scale degree name. So dominant. Dominant is 5, right? And this one is Roman numeral for 5. So we just write a 5 or a Roman numeral 5 there. Tonic is 1, right? So it's just this one. It kind of looks like an I, right? Okay, let's do subdominant now. Now subdominant is 4, so it's this one. So we're gonna write it there. Okay, let's do this one. Let's read this one. To determine the Roman numeral of a chord in a composition, 1. Draw any sharps or flats from the key signature before the correct notes. 2. Determine the root and quality of the triad, for example, G major. Determine the key of the music, for example, G major. 4. Count up from the name of the key to the name of the chord. The number of the scale degree is the Roman numeral. So here's an example from Minuet. So as you can see, they circled this, right? This is where our triad is supposed to be. We see that the notes are C, E, and G. But you might ask, wait, but there's 4 notes, C, E, G, and G. But in this case, if we have the same notes, we just ignore them. We only want, like, if you see 2 C's in one bubble, then we just only need 1 C. So we only keep 1 C. So in this case, I think we're gonna keep this G and we're gonna get rid of this one. So we just like cross it out or whatever. We just don't look at it and we're just only gonna look at this. So now we know that the notes are just C, E, and G, right? The triad is C major because as you can see, they're all in root position. And these are like broken triads. So if you just stack them, it's forming a C major. And the music is in the key of F major. We can tell that by looking at the key signature, right? It's just a B flat. Sorry, I was blanking out a little. But also we can tell by that because they told us, well, actually, yeah, it's a F major. So if we go from F to C, which is the root note of the triad, we always start on the key of the composition, and then we go up to the triad that we found. So we count from F to C how many steps that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means it's the dominant, because 5 is dominant, remember? So this is the dominant chord. Awesome. Actually, it might sound a little complicated, but that's okay because I'm going to go through all of these with you guys and hopefully it makes it clearer. Okay, now we're going to do this first one. So we see the circled part is over here, but first it's asking, what is the key of this excerpt? Let's see. So let's look at the key signature. We have 2 sharps. Now if we go from C sharp, our last sharp over here, C sharp, right? And we go a half step above, it's a D, right? That means D major. Yes. I believe this key is in D major. Okay, so this is in the key of D major. And also to make sure that it is in D major, we can look at the end and the beginning of the excerpt. So we can see that it's a lot of Ds, right? We see a lot of Ds. These are all Ds. And last one ends on Ds as well. That means it's a D major, right? So here then we can just write down what we already know. It's in D major. So I can like highlight it out for you guys so it's easier for you guys to see like how we found out that it was D major. And we can also see that they all end on Ds. That means it is a D major and it can't be a B minor. Okay, now main part though, we need to find out what Roman numeral it is. So what is this triad? Well, this triad, we can see, is a, also label the key signature, please, because that's going to help a lot when you're trying to find what triad it is. So as we can tell, in the key of D major, we have F sharp and C sharp, and it has the F sharp, right? And there's no C, so that's okay. But we can see there is an F sharp, which means that is a major triad. So that's a D major triad right there. So if the key is in D and our triad's also in D, that means we only counted once, so just 1. That means that's a tonic. So the triad and the key of the excerpt are both these. And if they're the same, that means they're just tonic, right? So over here we write the Roman numeral, which we found out was tonic. See, it's pretty simple. Okay, now let's do the next one. So let's find the key. We have the same key, but is it D major? Let's see. Yeah. Yep, so it is D major. So D major. Okay. Now, as you can see, okay, right, just trying to make sure, but yes, this is D major, this excerpt right here. And then now, because we can tell by the key signature, and it's kind of like impossible that it is a B minor, right? Because it's not really, it doesn't really make sense. Okay, so since we know the key is in D major, let's see. Okay. All right, so, right. We know that it's D major, and also, well, we kind of know, we kind of determine the key by looking at the chords, and but here we're trying to look at the chords afterwards, so it's a little tricky, but let's determine the chord, and the key of the piece will make sense from then. Okay, so basically we mark the key signature, which is a C sharp. Okay, now what triad is this? So we can see that in the key of A major, from like the root note, the key of A major, we're not looking at this right now. At the key, like the lower note in the key of A major, we have F, C, and G sharp. So we don't have any Fs. We have a C sharp, good, and we don't have any Gs in it. That means it is A major. So this is a major triad. Okay. Now, to determine, we need to count, now to determine the Roman numeral of this triad, we need to count from D to A. So, D to A, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means it is a dominant. Just like that. Awesome. Now it makes more sense because if we were to count from a B minor over here to an A, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is not really common. Well, it's not impossible, but at our current level, it's not common at all to have those kind. So that just makes it have so much sense. Okay, now let's do the next one. So this one's way easier to determine the key. It has B flats, right? And also we can see hints in the front, the beginning, and the end that they're all Fs. Do you realize it? All Fs. That means it is in the key of F major. So, just like that. Now, let's take a look over here. So, remember what I said, if they are the same notes, they cancel out. So we see so many B's. We have 4 B's, but we only need 1 B. So let's just cancel out all the B's we don't need. So we can cancel out this B, we can cancel out this B, we can cancel out this B, and we're just going to keep that 1 B right there, okay? Now, do you kind of see like a triad forming here? So it's basically just B, D, and F, right? And remember to carry the key signature over, so this is a B flat. Okay, now what is in the key signature of B flat major? So in the key signature of B flat major, we have B flat and E flat, but we don't have any E's and we have the B flat. That means it is a B flat major. Awesome. Okay. So from now, we count from F to B. Remember, always starting on the key of the excerpt first, and we count up to there. So from F to B, we don't really consider the flat on the B. We just take a look at the general key, which is the B. So we count from F to B. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just 4, right? And 4 is subdominant. So we draw a subdominant, or the 4 in Roman numeral. Okay, now let's do the next page. Ooh, last page. We have 3 more practices. Okay, now let's determine the key here. Okay. Alrighty, so as we can see from the key signature, no sharp, no flat. I'm thinking of C major. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think it's C major. So, if we already know that it is a C major, sorry, C major. Just gonna write that there. It's kind of getting in the way. Okay, so from then on, let's see. So no sharp, no flat, so we don't have to carry the key signature over. This is in the key of G, right? So what is in the key signature of G major? We have just F sharp, right? And there's no F's in the triad, so we're basically good. That means it is a major, so it's a G major triad. Now we count from C to G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means it is dominant. Awesome. Okay, let's do the next exercise. So again, let's determine the key. So we can see from the beginning that there's Fs, which can pretty much tell us that it is in the key of F major, right? So we're gonna write that down right there. And let's see what this is. So it also starts on an F, and then it has an F, A, and C. So what is in the key signature of F major? Because that's the root of the note, or a root of the triad, remember? So what is in the key signature of F major? We have B flat, but there's no B flats here, so that means it is a major. Okay, so we're gonna write F major. Now, if we count from F to F, well, not as an octave, obviously, but, well, I guess you could, but, like, it's easier if you just count the same thing. That is just only going to give us 1 because they're the same note. So we only count once, remember? Like, 1, just like that. That's how you get the 1, okay? So 1 equals tonic. And that's how we get tonic. Okay. Now let's do Minuet by Bach. Okay. What is the key of the excerpt? We have F sharp. F sharp, F sharp. Okay. So I am thinking, of G major. Because, okay. I'm going to give you a hint because of this triad here that is circled for us. It also starts on a G, which kind of hints us something, right? So if we know that the key is in G, major, then let's see what this triad is. So it's G, B, and D. Now we take the key of the root note, and we determine what triad this is. This is like kind of a review from this. So we like have that, and we have to determine what triad it is. So we should be pretty good at this already, but if not, you guys can like feel free to review before if you don't really know like what I'm talking about here. Definitely I suggest reviewing our previous lesson. But basically, if we take the key of G major, it is just F sharp. And we don't have an F sharp here, so that means that is a major key. So G major. Now G major and G major, similar situation, same note, so we only count once. That means it is a tonic, right? Awesome. That was pretty fast, I guess, although it was 40-something minutes. But we did a really good job, and I think this was, like, pretty hard, to be honest, when I was doing this. But I hope, like, this video helps you guys better understand it. And feel free to let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this. So, yeah. Alright, musical explorers, that is it for today's lesson. We did, lesson 5, and we learned a lot about primary triads and Roman numerals, we only learned 1, 4, and 5, but still. And we also learned to identify primary triads. We also drew out primary triads, and we also learned to identify the Roman numeral of a triad in an excerpt. So yeah, we did a lot of exercises today and a lot of reading as well. But yeah, that was really, really fun and productive. And I also definitely, like I said already, suggest you guys, if you guys don't really understand like this part, if it was a little bit hard for you guys to understand like how the triad works, I definitely suggest reviewing our previous lesson over here, which was lesson 4. Definitely review this so that you are better able to identify these triads. So yeah, but that is it for today's lesson, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in our next lesson. Bye!